Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and it's finally time for part 2 of Chapter 3 of the Rivals of Ixalan storyline. And I know how much you guys love just skipping around from characters' perspectives and half the time not even knowing what chronological order the events happened in, but this does appear to be when Jason Vraska walked into the big old room and met Azor. So it starts with Azor saying, well, if this Gorgon is not my prisoner, then who have you brought for me to seal? That in itself doesn't make sense with what we know about why he's there, but whatever. Oh, Jay still has his mental barrier up so that Azor can't read Vraska's mind. And then he says, and here stands the Living Guild Pact. I congratulate you on not utterly destroying the system of guilds. Which actually, yeah, if there wouldn't have been somebody who made it to the center of the maze, then I think the card's supreme verdict would have happened and it would have just wiped out all of the guilds. I have an idea, just wipe out the problem ones. The ones that use black mana, basically. The evil ones. So then he's like, okay, if you're not here with a prisoner, which honestly, I don't get that. Is Vraska a prison? I have no idea. He says that I assume you are here for this. The lock of my prison, my finest creation. So apparently he is trapped there, but did he trap himself there? Because we already do know that he used part of his Planeswalker Spark to create the Immortal Sun. And the story goes that he came here and created the Immortal Sun so that any other Planeswalker who planeswalked here and then learned of the plane's existence, just the fact that it exists at all, could not leave to tell anybody else. So that's interesting. So they both look up at the Immortal Sun up in the ceiling, and they're like, well, yeah, that's definitely what's keeping us here, I guess, then. He kind of confirmed it. And Vraska's wondering, I wonder why Nicol Bolas wanted me to steal something that locks away planeswalkers. That's kind of odd. And of course, Azor just straight up says, if you're here for the Immortal Sun, I'm afraid you're not allowed to have it. And then he said all, ooh, scary voice, trespassing is not allowed within the walls of Vraska. I think they're mixing up trespassing and theft. So somehow the Sphinx got through Jace's magic, although not the mental barrier, just like the magic barrier, I guess. I guess he's just blasting counter spells. And it says that he pretty much, a binding of glowing white runic magic grabbed hold of Vraska's torso and shoved her back toward the door behind them. Well, they didn't even confirm that that's why they were there. So immediately Jace is like, hey, stop that. And he counters the magic because blue. Let's see, this doesn't make a lot of sense. She says, your law magic can't prevent me from turning you to stone, you know. And then she says, tell us who you are or I'll kill you where you stand. I could have sworn he already said that he's Azor. I could have sworn that Jace already knew who he was. I don't know, I could be wrong. So he says, I will tell you nothing, Gorgon. And then Jace used some kind of weird blue spell. It literally just says his eyes flash blue. He held out his hand and then Azor roared and pawed at his head, so mind games, yay. And then he says, you will refer to her as Captain. And then he actually replies, for thousands of years I planeswalked through countless worlds, Captain Vraska. They were strange and unruly, full of brutal societies plagued with violence and disorder. I used hieromancy, which is apparently like law magic, I guess, to give these people the gift of stability. I created systems of governance to cure them of their chaos. I selflessly toiled to improve the multiverse, and my gifts turned worlds from places of madness and brutality into structured bastions of peace. I founded countless systems of governance to shape the communal destiny of countless planes. And your rejection of my decree is most unwise. The law is meant to be followed. Damn, he's going full-blown like Supreme Court on her. So Vraska says, well, we know that you built the structure of guilds on Ravnica. I'm guessing you weren't originally from there because you said you traveled around just creating guilds and crap. Why didn't you stay? And then he just replies, the law is meant to be followed. He's like a bad automatic voicemail system. And so Jace got just blasted with a huge strong wave of law magic, whatever that means. But he's trying to hold it off, so Vraska keeps asking him, why didn't you stay? And he just like roars, and he gives up on trying to get through Jace's ward, which is apparently now still up. And finally he's like, okay, I'm going to quit blasting them with magic and just answer the dang question. Because Ravnica was one of many, and I left when I was finished. I mean, I could have told you that. That would have been my guess. And then, of course, he says, you are talented, Living Guild Pact. Have you upheld your responsibilities well at home? And he says, no, I have not. Which, yep, he hasn't. I don't even know what a Guild Pact does, but I know that he hasn't done it. I do recall that. So Jace reminds him, hey, you got like some complicated magic and crap and the guilds are wonderful, but you made your failsafe a living mortal, like not an immortal, so that's a great idea. And Azor's like, the guilds are a perfect system. And Vraska's like, the guilds were a perfect system, now they're not. And also they turned malicious and cruel in your absence, and everything went to crap. And of course, very logical, Azor says, and whose fault is that? I mean, I gave Ravnica its guilds just as I gave countless other worlds other perfect systems of law and governance. Well, it's not perfect if it failed, is it? And so they go back and forth where Vraska's like, why do you show up to other people's planes and then create some crappy law system that you claim is perfect and never works? And then he's like, oh, well, it's all the citizens' fault then if they screw it up. Yeah, that is true. That's why really crappy people, like 3 or 4 of the guilds, just should have been utterly wiped out. So then they're like, okay, fine, agree to disagree. What's that? And she's like pointing at the immortal sun. Was Ixalan one of your projects? And then she follows it up with, what does it actually do? So he steps down from his little throne place and says, well, as caretaker and arbiter of law for the entirety of the multiverse, somebody's got a big ego, it was my duty to collaborate for the greater good. The immortal sun was built to imprison one specific enemy. Well, that's interesting. I don't think we've met that person yet. It amplifies the magical abilities of whoever touches it, and it prevents planeswalkers from leaving a plane. The perfect cage for a diabolical planeswalker. I am calling it right now. It's the 3rd original Elder Dragon from Dominaria, and that's why we're going to Dominaria. I bet it's a friend and ally of Nicol Bolas, because I'm sure this isn't correct, but the way I remember it, Ugin, Nicol Bolas, and a 3rd yet-to-be-named Elder Dragon were all from Dominaria. Ugin left, Nicol Bolas travels around, and the 3rd one we've just never met yet. And at this point, since this is Wizards of the Coast, let's just go ahead and say she is probably trapped on Ixalan. Also, remember the Keeper of the Immortal Sun was a flying beast, which actually probably was Azor at this point, but, you know, it could be a dragon. And I suppose I could see Azor stopping here at this plane to trap somebody if that somebody was going to travel around between multiple planes and just wreck their rule of law and just, like, take it over and just be evil. So I kind of get the logic there. So let's keep reading. I'm deeply interested. Vraska says, what evil were you trying to imprison? And he says, a fiend who was a danger to all the multiverse. Our plan, naturally, was perfect, but my friend failed. Who the hell's we? In fact, Vraska says, our plan, so you made it with somebody else, and Azor said, he was my friend. He was supposed to help me get back my spark after our plan worked, which it did not. Also, maybe that person isn't in prison there anymore, but then why would he care if anybody tried to grab the Immortal Sun? This is interesting. So we do know that he used part of his spark to create the Immortal Sun, so I guess whoever he was making this plan with just left and ditched him after he did so, and, well, there you go. So then Vraska says, so you helped your friend make the Immortal Sun, or your friend helped make the Immortal Sun, and then abandoned you. And Azor answers, he was to lure our foe to a faraway plane, and I was to use the Immortal Sun to enhance my hieromancy and summon that foe here to Ixalan. Ooh, forced planeswalking interplanar kidnapping spell. That is no joke. Yeah, you would need a little bit of an amplifier for that. But he says, I never received the signal to activate the Immortal Sun. I do not know my associate's fate. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if it was Nicol Bolas. That's really interesting. Now, he does say that we devised the plan over 1,000 years ago, and I came to Ixalan a little over 100 years after that. Wow, let's make a plan and then wait 100 years to implement it. He says, he failed. I do not know what happened, but my execution on my side was perfect. So I guess Azor was like, all right, let's lure him to, I don't know, Ravnica. Probably not. And then I'll use the Immortal Sun to boost my powers. I'll, like, sense when this person is on Rivals, Ravnica, and then, boom, summon him here, turn on the Immortal Sun, which I guess he already did, and then they can't planeswalk out. And then I guess Azor, could planeswalk out because he made it or something? I don't know, whatever it was. I mean, he never got the signal. He never lured the foe there, so it is what it is. So this partially makes sense. He continues, I did not want anything to do with the Immortal Sun. It was a reminder of my friend's failure, so I decided to give the gift of governance to this plane. Oh, that worked great. Ixalan was ruled by whoever possessed the Immortal Sun. Makes sense. And I initially gifted it to a monastery in the east, in Torrezone, which of course was the pre-vampire vampires. Who am I kidding? It's Spain. It's the Spanish. But they were not worthy, so I took it back and gifted it to the others. Ooh, it's probably when they tried to use it to, I don't remember what they were doing, live forever or something, and then when they lost it, they're like, well, vampirism. Yeah, Elenda was kind of an idiot, in case you didn't catch that. So he was the one who swooped down. Well, also remember somebody tried to steal it from the temple, and maybe that's why they were not worthy, because they couldn't guard it properly. So he was, what do they call that? The Guardian? The Last Guardian. That's what it was. That's who he was. He flew down and swooped and grabbed it. And then he says, oh boy, the Sun Empire was not worthy. The River Heralds, as evidenced by the awakening of Vraska, were not worthy. Only I am worthy. And so I must work further to perfect this system. Here, I'll help. Kill all of them and let the dinosaurs take over. So, of course, Vraska ain't have any of that crap. She's like, basically, you caused the problem. None of them were really fit to govern, and you're blaming them. Which, let me throw this out there. Yes, they're all terrible people, so even I would blame them. I do recall that the vampires either wanted immortal life and then lost it, or the other way around. And then, let's see. I honestly don't remember why the merfolk lost control of it. And then the Sun Empire had a not-so-great emperor who decided to use the immortal sun, and it kind of caused, like, unspecified widespread catastrophe. And so, of course, Azor's going to defend himself. He says, well, I've been planning. If I am not able to continue to perfect the multiverse, then I can still do it here. I can fix Ixalan. Oh, yeah, why don't you head over to the Middle East, too, if you're that confident? You know, at this point, I think my strategy works better. Take all the crappy guilds, just eliminate them. Take North Korea, eliminate them. Take, I'm not going to say it, this will piss some people off, but one of the groups in the Middle East and get rid of them. You know, the one that's always at fault and is always the problem and is commonly seen as perpetually evil. You make bad people go away and you got good people left over. That's logic. So Vraska's is basically like, you're an idiot and you ruined this plane. And he's like, I'm not having that. And of course he reiterates, it is not the system that is faulty, it is the people. Really? Giving them one giant super weapon and hoping that they don't misuse it? That's perfect? It's the people's fault? I mean, still, he's got a point. All 4 of the groups are terrible people, but still. I vote for all of the tribes are idiots, and this plan was idiotic. I'm going both. I'm doubling down on it. So Vraska's like, I don't know if you noticed or not, but the last few centuries on this plane have been complete crap because of you. And then he's like, I fixed this plane. And she's like, yeah, it was never broken, which, that's debatable. So like a civilized, intelligent gentleman, Azor just roars and tries to tackle her. And so Jace makes them both invisible and they dodge out of the way. And of course, since they're invisible, Vraska took the opportunity to pull her sword and just cut a big old slice out of Azor's back leg. I bet you that you can make a pretty powerful potion out of Sphinx blood. I'm just throwing it out there. I've played too many RPGs to let that go to waste. Maybe you could mix some of that blood up, go get some Eye of Newt and some Dragon Scale, and mix them all together, click your heels together 3 times, and go back to Ravnica. Yeah, that's right. I just found a way around the immortal sun. What's up? So he's just like, reveal yourself, because, you know, invisibility is not fair. I mean, total dick trick right there. But Jace is like, no, and then tried to, like, assault his mind, which, you know, that always works. All they actually managed to do was give him a headache. I wish I was kidding. Oh, no, a migraine. Oh, that's a step up from a headache. Pardon me. I think it's working on me, too, although I might just have a migraine from listening to Azor's bullshit. The Vraska's basically like, I really want to turn him to stone. And Jace is like, yeah, don't. He deserves punishment, but not death. And so then Vraska's like, you know, you spent your entire life fixing what you saw as problems on other planes, and you meddled in business that was not yours, even though, I mean, come on, he pretty much did good most of the time. And he's not wrong that it's the people that would have screwed it up, and then they didn't deserve the rule of law anyway. They're a bunch of barbarians. And then, of course, because he's seen too many, I want to say RoboCop movies? I don't know. He says, I am the arbiter of law. Wait, who actually said, I am the law? I don't remember who said that. I legit don't remember that quote. I know it's like famous as hell. It had to have been RoboCop. Anyway, Jace made him have a slightly worse migraine and then says, let her talk. So Vraska's like, let's run it down here, okay? Because the Immortal Sun has kind of caused problems for, you know, hundreds of years on this crap tank of a plane. It led the Legion of Dust to conquer an entire continent. It caused the Sun Empire and the River Heralds to mercilessly wage war upon each other. Your artifact unbalanced an entire plane, and yet you refuse to be held accountable. So yeah, you ruined this entire plane, and for the record, when I was in prison on Ravnica and my people are continuously subjugated, you can look at somebody and turn them into stone. Even I think the Gorgons should be exterminated as a race. But she's like, oh, that was you too. I'm placing that squarely on your head, dick. You ever notice how everybody in prison blames like the judge and the legal system and the cops instead of taking personal responsibility for, you know, being evil? So he's like, okay, Vraska, seriously, calm the hell down. My turn. She freaking tag teams him in, and he's like, I think I need to act on behalf of Ravnica to, like, punish him in some way. This should be interesting. Maybe he's going to give him a really bad migraine and then make his Tylenol invisible. So Jace decides to manipulate the rules a little bit and says the Living Guild Pact maintains balance between the guilds of Ravnica, but you, Azor, the originator of Azorius, are an inherent part of Ravnica and have caused imbalance not just on my home, but on countless other planes. That's true. Azorius pretty much runs the other 9 guilds. That's not what I would call balance. But some of the guilds are complete douchebags, so a little bit of a point there. So what Jace is actually doing, if you read between the lines here, or literally read that line that I'm pointing at but you can't see because I'm not on my webcam, you're probably actually looking at Tiberium Wars right now. Anyway, he's saying, hey, you're causing unbalance, and using the Sphinx's own magic of, like, maintaining the law, which is like a hyper powerful type of magic, to make him not immediately just, like, tackle Jace. And also Jace's Living Guild Pact. So he's like, hey, I'm going to use your little legalistic laws against you, which is pretty clever. Or the way they phrased it, there's powerful hieromancy at work, and the evocation of his own status had halted Azor in his tracks as he listened with wide round eyes at his sentencing. Oh, Jace is going full-blown Judge Judy on this bitch. Jace continues, not only did you decide it was your place to govern what was not yours, and also never stop to consider the consequences of your actions, Ixalan is in peril. Ravnica was built to be unstable after you departed, and countless other worlds have likely suffered from your deliberate intervention. Whatever your intentions were, you did not seek to understand the full ramifications of your choices, and worst of your crimes is you ate all of my Tide Pods. But they're so delicious, Azor replied, with blue and white goo streaming down his chin. And the colors, they're so vibrant, and plus white and blue, that's kind of my mana colors. Oh, and also, by the way, our intention was to imprison Nicol Bolas. Dun, dun, dun. So I was wrong, it's not the 3rd dragon. So yeah, it's just good old number 2. Yeah, I'm putting Nugan at number 1. What's up? And I'm sure at this point, Nicol Bolas got a sex change and changed his name to Nicol Bolas because wizards. Vraska's jaw fell open. Actually, mine too, because I just realized that these Tide Pods are toxic. Just kidding. I just realized why Nicol Bolas wants them to steal it. Steal the Immortal Sun. It's because it's a trap. Somebody was supposed to draw Nicol Bolas to one particular plane with some kind of lie or whatever, which I think maybe it might have been Tezzeret. I thought he didn't initially work with Nicol Bolas, but I'm not 100% sure. But whoever it is, they failed. Nicol Bolas must have probably read their mind, figured out what the plan was, and killed them. And, well, unless it was Tezzeret. And then, he basically just, like, didn't go to that plane. And he's like, okay, well, this is a trap. I don't want to get stuck in it. So, let's steal it. So I don't think he actually needs it. Now, I thought he was going to use the power to amplify his own magic to undo the mending. Maybe he still is. Maybe that's just a convenient little side effect. But I think really he just doesn't want a giant Nicol Bolas trap. So that is interesting. But remember, Vraska's doing this mission for Nicol Bolas. So both Vraska and Jace are shocked. Shocked! Well, they're not that shocked. Oh, remember how Jace doesn't quite remember everything? Well, they said that he now remembers Nicol Bolas, like, enough that he's like, oh, that's probably not good. Yeah, I remember that guy. And in the most strangely worded question in this entire chapter, Jace asks, Azor, may I see how you know who he is? What? There's like 9 other ways to phrase that make like actual sense, like in sentence structure. Oh, I should have kept reading. From anyone else, the question would have been odd or misspoken, but this was a telepath's phrasing. Okay, if you say so. So since Jace pretty much had mental control of him at this point, he was just like, sure, why not? Here, take a look. And he plays a little PowerPoint in his head about what's going on. So Jace glanced at Vraska. His eyes were alight with power, but his brows creased, if I could read today, in confusion and terror. She knew that whatever he was seeing was bad news, but we don't get to see the PowerPoint. So it's like, okay, thanks for showing me. By the way, your intentions were noble, but the effect of the Immortal Sun on Ixalan has been catastrophic. You and the Immortal Sun are a danger to the stability of this plane. Okay, let me just interject there. And also all the other tribes, because they're a bunch of violent psychopaths. Okay, since probably none of you remember this but me, the island that Jace first landed on, or either that or the second one that he went to, one of the two, he nicknamed it Useless Island. Okay, little setup here. He orders Azor as the guild pact, and he has the power to make laws and whatever. You will be the master and caretaker of Useless Island. You will not be able to leave, and you will never meddle in the lives of sentient beings ever again. Ooh, that's cold, because Jace really enjoyed his time on that wonderful island. Leave the immortal sun here and depart with your life. As living Guildpact, that is my decree. Now, if you remember the leaks, if you were into that kind of thing, from the art book, we knew that Azor somehow got out of the way. I mean, because, well, I'm not going to spoil the next chapter, but we do know what happens. And if you remember the very ending, I'm a little confused now, but everybody was wondering if he fought Azor or if he wiped his mind or what happened or if they came to an agreement or... No, apparently he just, commanded him to go guard Useless Island, and that's what he's going to do. So if anybody wants to go speak with Azor, he's going to be there. Although he did order him to never meddle in the lives of sentient beings. Depending upon the interpretation of that, he could perhaps not even talk to another sentient being. So obviously he's going to draw a face on a coconut and talk to him, because that wouldn't, well, kind of not a living being. So it says the invocation of Ravnican magic, specifically law magic, around the Perun of the Azorius lifted Jace's words, and Vraska felt a strange foreign rush of law magic ringing in his voice. Oh my gosh, I swear I cannot read today. By the way, law magic works between planes. Azor is so stupidly powerful, I can't believe he doesn't have, the mental fortitude to, fight off Jace's ridiculousness. But then again, now, after the mental tricks, Jace is using his own actual law magic because he's the guild pact. So that's is Azor more powerful than himself? No, not really, probably, I guess. So Vraska changes his mind, decides not to turn him into some Sphinx lawn art, or a fanciful fountain. So he just, without even saying goodbye, just flies away. Bye-bye. He's going to Useless Island. It doesn't say he wasn't flipping off Jace on the way out, though, so, use your imagination. So Vraska looked up at the immortal sun, uncertain of how she felt about it now. Why does Nicobolus want an artifact that imprisons planeswalkers? She asked in hushed fear. Jace's lips were a stern line, and he looked at her with dread. Vraska, he said, his voice wavering because he's a low-T beta male pansy-ass bitch. You need to know who you're working for. Yeah, apparently Vraska didn't get the vibe that he's, super evil. She was just oh, you got a job for me? All right, you're powerful. Cool, you got money and resources. Whatevs. She didn't really know him, I guess. I thought he had some kind of dealings and started to mess with Ravnica at some point. I might be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm mixing that up with Kaladesh and he never really visited Ravnica. I'm not 100% sure. But that's the end of the chapters. So awesome. This was the greatest chapter written so far. Although I don't mean to imply that the written part was good about it. Found the writing to be only okay in this one, but the science fiction, fantasy, and mystery and suspenseful, and puzzle solving and everything. Oh my gosh, totally on point. 11 out of 10. Needs more water. IGN. And if you don't get that reference, then you're not a level 99 meme wizard like me. Oh my gosh, seriously, wizards, if you never release a set that's built just on internet memes and then have meme walkers and meme wizards, I can't respect you. I probably can't anyway. But let's just say it would help. It would up your cool factor from -2 to 1. So what'd you guys think of the story? Leave your best speculations about what the heck is going to happen down below. Just kidding, don't do that because it was already leaked in the art book. So I don't know what you should leave down below. How about just a meme? Just meme the living crap out of the comment section, and I'll see you guys next video.